Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful people, wherever you are. I bring you greetings from my side of the world. I hope it's going on well with you wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in today. If this is the first time, you are welcome. If you've been coming to my channel, you are also welcome. So today, like the caption says, I'm going to talk about my experience with a pastor's daughter. So I'm saying this in order to let people know. I'm saying this so that people will understand that it is not everything that you see in church that you just put your head, you trust everybody. Because in our generation now, we Christians, we tend to trust a lot. We trust so much. There is this church, a friend of mine invited me to this church. Their weekly program, because they are called deliverance something. They do deliverance. So they have these weekly prayers that people attend, and I am the kind of person that I like prayers. I like to join prayers. So I joined the prayers. When I went into that the first time, I kind of like the way they pray. I'm like, okay, thank God there are churches that still pray like this in UK. So I decided to be going for their weekly activities. As things happen, I sing. As things happen, I keep on going every week with my children. And then, with your gift, sometimes you can't hide it. One thing or the other happened. I think the pastor heard me singing, and then he said, oh, come and join my choir. Please help my choir. And I joined the choir. And the first thing I said, I used to go to I have another church I go to, but that's in the afternoon. He said, yeah, you can come. They have morning and afternoon service. He said, you can come in the morning. Join us and worship with us in the morning. And you go to your church in the afternoon. We know that you don't belong here. Just help my choir. And I did, because I liked them initially. So I joined their choir. We were practicing and all that. So that made me to be going there every Sunday morning to worship with my children. The first Sunday I got there, this pastor's daughter came to me and saw me with my daughter. And she said, oh, this your daughter looked exactly just like me when I was little. I'm like, excuse me? But, I waved it. I'm like, It was later I got to know that language she made was a spiritual language. But that's not where I want to caption and where I want to base on. But I got to know that language was a spiritual language. Believe it or not, the encounter I had told me that what she said that day, how can another person's child look exactly just like you when you were little? Anyway, fast forward, she told me she teaches in children department. And I'm like, wow, thank God for somebody like you. Because I know so many pastors' children that don't want to have anything to do with their father's or mother's ministry. Or maybe even though they come and sit down and watch, or not even to take part. But here is somebody that said she teaches children. I was like, oh, wow, thank God for your life. She said she would take my child to children department. I said, okay. She did that day. So I noticed every Sunday she comes to pick my child, my daughter, to children department. Then I realized that she's only picking my daughter. Other children would be there. She will let them go or come to meet her at any time they want, or their parents bring them. But once I get to church, she will come and pick my child from me. I never had anything in mind anyway. So, just to tell you the truth, if like something happened to me or my daughter, even if I would think that anybody is doing anything bad to my daughter, I will never in my life think about this very particular person I'm talking about. I've got no issues with her. If anything is happening to me, I will even be thinking that my ancestors are, sorry, my village people, they have come, or maybe somebody, a friend, or somebody that's jealous of you, something like that. Not this very person. I never in mind had anything when my daughter began having issues. So, to continue with this story, we've just been in this church like 3-4 months. And then one Sunday, they finished from children department and she brought my daughter back to me. And we were sitting in the adult church. And this girl started coughing. The cough attracted attentions. Like, me too, I was so like embarrassed. She was coughing and coughing and coughing that somebody from who used to talk with me, also in the same choir, she came and said, how can you bring your daughter like this to church? You have to take this girl to the doctor. And I said, she wasn't coughing when we were coming from home. I'm just hearing this cough. She said, no, this cough doesn't look like something that she started coughing now. I said, well, she was not coughing. She has not been coughing. I'm just noticing this cough now. She said, you don't have to keep her now. You have to take her to, it was a Sunday. She said, take her to A&E. I'm like, and actually the way the girl was coughing, it was really something bad. So I listened to her. I did not go to my second church after we finished from that church. I took this girl straight to walk-in center. And when we got there, they examined her. She was okay. Nothing was wrong with her. Even when we got there, she stopped coughing. I am not looking like a fool. Well, to cut the story short, I left. But that was the beginning of everything. The cough continued. This girl coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed for months, for years. She was coughing. She coughed to the extent that I didn't know what to do. Meanwhile, I have been taking her to GP. I have booked GP several times, like more than 6 times, and they found nothing. When she go there, they would check her. They even, to the extent that the way I disturbed them, they did X-ray. Is it X-ray or that is something, that thing they read bones and inside somebody's? Nothing was wrong with my child. So they kind of, when I tried to book this same appointment, they waved me off because because I disturbed them to the extent I said, okay, send me to specialists, which they did. And I was looking like a fool when we got there because they did not see anything. So I even had to, because when this girl coughs, she doesn't cough when she goes to school. She coughs whenever she comes back home. And throughout the night, my little girl will be coughing and coughing, and the kind of cough she coughs, she lifts herself up like she will be sleeping. When she's coughing, she's lifting herself when she's coughing. Wow, I became so restless. Something that the medical people said they are not seeing anything. Who will believe me? Remember, as Christians, the first thing we do is even to pray before we even go to hospital, which I have been doing. I have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. I remember a friend of mine from Ghana, Sister Jane, she helped me to pray for this girl. I remember one time she went to childminder. I was at work and the childminder called me. You need to come and take your child. She is coughing so heavily. So this woman told me, what have you tried? I told her. She asked me, have you gone to hospital? I said several times and nothing is happening. She said, okay, take honey, and she told me certain things to do, which I also tried. Nothing was working. So fast forward, my girl has coughed for more than 3 years, getting to 4 years, this same cough. And if you see her, this beautiful girl that she in Nigeria we say somebody full ground. She is heavy and beautiful. You know, children when they are big, you know, she is such a beautiful girl that anybody that sees her admires her. And that was the first attraction that pastor's daughter saw and came to tell me she looks just exactly like her anyway. So at a point I had it up to the neck. I remember one night I was to have a night vigil with a pastor from Nigeria online anyway. That night we fixed, there's a this youth program in my place that was coming up, and then he said I should join him in prayers, which I did. We fixed certain days for this night vigil. So that night he called me. As he called me, he heard, and the phone conversation, he heard my daughter coughing, and he said, please don't let this girl sleep the next night without you taking this girl to the hospital. I said, Pastor, I have done this and they are not seeing anything. He said, that's strange. The cough that I can hear. I am bringing this to tell you the weight of this cough. And my girl was drying. She was drying. She was losing her personality. Sometimes when I look at her, I will shed tears. I will want to wear, I usually wear, at this time I used to wear her 3 to 4 clothes during summer just to make her look a little bit, look good, because one cloth, when I wear her one cloth, she looks so depreciated. Well, when this pastor said this thing, everybody was saying, people that come around me that see her coughing, they say this and that suggest certain things. So at this point I couldn't take it anymore, because me myself, I was losing myself too. When your child is not feeling okay, especially when you can't get solution, you will be frustrated. I was frustrated. So this time came when I decided to take, I used to fast 1 day 3 days for her, 4 days as I could. But this time around, you know what I did? I decided to take 21 days dry, which was very risky for me. I have not even fasted 7 days before during that time. Like dry, I could fast 7 days, fast to 6 or to certain times and eat, but I've not done dry. But this time around, I decided to do just water fast, because it actually came to that. I said, you know what I said to myself? If I perish, I perish. I decided to go into this fasting. So, my beautiful people, I have not fasted for up to a week. I finished praying one certain day. It was towards evening. And then I sat down on the couch, on the sofa, and dozed off. Then I had this dream that made me to tell you this. In that dream, I went to like a nursery. I went to a children's center. This is like a nursery. And I was looking for my daughter. And finally, I saw her. And I said, oh, I've been looking for you. Where have you been? Come to mommy, let's go home. And she came. So I held her hand and we were going. So we walked down from that nursery department to, we walked out of the building and we went in my dream. And we went to the bus stop, I and my daughter. We were just waiting for, that bus stop there was like, only me and my daughter was at that bus stop though. So, behold this pastor's daughter running after me and my daughter. That was how I got to know, because in my imagination, I will never ever think that this girl will do anything to my daughter. Never. I will never. So in that dream, she came running after me. She came running after me. And when she came, she said, you are not supposed to take her away from me. I have her now. That was what she said. I said, no, you don't. She is my daughter. I can take her. And then we started quarreling in that dream. We started fighting. She said, okay, even though you want to take her, I'm going to take her heart from her. So she grabbed the hat that my girl was wearing in that dream, took off the hat and wanted to run away. I held her, I pushed her back in my dream and held her, pinned her down. We were fighting, severe fighting in my dream. And so I pinned her down. I said, no, you are not taking my daughter's heart away. First of all, you said, why should I take now you want to take her. You cannot take anything that belongs to her. So we were fighting, and then I took the heart away from her, and then I woke up. My dear brothers and sisters, that was the deliverance I got for my child. When I woke up, I'm like, what? Even though I have to have a dream, you know, sometimes when you have a dream of people that are either your friends, your family, the people you know. This very person I'm telling you is far away from me. Like, it's not somebody, I don't relate with her. I only see her in church. We are not connected. So she is somebody that my mind, I would never even think of her before. Sometimes if you want to dream, you dream about somebody that maybe that you have something to do with. So I don't have anything to do with this person. She will never, like, somebody that will come to my dream. So this was pure revelation. Believe it or not, if you like, say this and that. This was the encounter I had, and that was the point of deliverance for my daughter up until today. That was how my daughter got healed from that cough. So I sat down, I thought about, I said, what? I said, I will have to tell the world this. We have to be careful, the people we believe, the people we trust. You know, we church people, when we go to church, we trust a lot. Anybody that said he or she is a leader, we trust such a person a lot. When they say one can this and say put in Jesus' name, we echo amen. Because she was a daughter, I respected her though. But we need to be careful. We need to retrace our steps and think about things that we believe, you know. We need to look, in fact, especially we parents, protect our children. Protect yourself. These days, a lot is happening in Christendom. In Christianity, a lot is happening. I remember when I was a child growing up, my first year in secondary school, I had a challenge that I could not go back to school. Church helped me during this, and when they got to know that I wasn't going to go back to school, they said, no, you have to go back to school. They contributed money and they gave to me. Even there is this a well-to-do man that we know. He, after they contributed, he topped that money, doubled that money and gave to me and said, no, my girl, go back to school. You know, that was church then. And like, if we trace back how church began, it was they gather together whatever they have to give to sorry about this, to give to the needy. That was how church started. They give to the needy. But this time, instead of giving to the needy, like, you remember the apostles, they gather together, they bring things together, and they give to the needy. But now, instead of giving to the needy, we are contributing to give to those who have already. It's a shame. And then they will come and lay hands on you. You don't even know the hands they are laying on you and your child. Protect your child, parents, from wolves in sheep clothing. I remember one of my choir leaders, one thing she said, there was this pastor they mentioned, is a very known pastor worldwide. We were chatting and then they mentioned the name of this pastor and she said, I can't forget my experience with this man. I said, like, what? She said when she was a teenager, like around 12, not even a teenager, when she was between 11 and 12, she said her mom used to take her to this pastor. She said this pastor would be touching her sensitive part and she could not bring herself to tell her mom. That the pastor even did it once in the presence of her mom. The mom did not know. The mom will bring her for her to for pastor to pray for her, to advise her, but this was what was happening. She could not bring herself to tell her mom. If we give people a chance for them to say what their encounters with pastors, you will see a lot. I've seen parents, they trust their child in the hands of the leaders in the church. Some people will say, oh, I want my son, I want my daughter, I want so and so person to be a mentor. We really have to be careful. I'm going to stop here. I pray for God to guide us. I pray that we will retrace our step. I pray that we will understand the things that are going on these days and not be fighting. Some people, like I have said this, now I know there are people that will come and start fighting me, start saying certain things, that's your business. I know that 1 or 2 people will learn from what I have said. Be careful, people you trust your children with. You will see a child that was doing well when he or she was little. They grow up and turn into something else. Do you know what happened? You don't know. The things we see physical, they are things that have happened in the spiritual realm. They just manifest. And you will be praying. You will still be taking that child back to maybe the pastor that caused it. Some of them lay hands on you and take what belongs to you. Some of them lay hands on you and cast another thing into you, into the children. And yet we keep, I'm not like saying all pastors are bad, but we need to shine our eyes. Parents and people, we need to be careful. Bible said we should be watchful. There are wolves in sheep clothing. People no longer think about this. People no longer think about a discerning spirit. Having a discerning spirit. Once anybody comes up and is praying goo goo gaga gaga, oh, that's the person who will cheer up. We no longer even notice anybody who is not as rich as those top pastors. Once any pastor is rich, we hail such people. Once somebody is belong to pastor, a pastor this, a pastor that, we those are the people we seem to follow. But maybe the one that is not rich, because we believe that for you to be a child of God or to do you must be rich. Well, I'm not here to start, bashing people, but this was my encounter. It was God who revealed to me. If not, I wouldn't have known. And it was when I took that drastic decision. So people, be careful, be watchful. The days are evil. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for stopping by. I love you all. Cheers. Bye.